with all the good stuff you need to know. Right here on the Zone 105.9 and worldwide at thezone1059.com.
Here we go. Welcome in on a Wednesday. I almost said Monday. Welcome in. Why? Welcome in on a Wednesday. It's a halfway point of the week. Hump day. Some of you call it hump day, halfway point of the week, Wednesday, whatever. We're over the hump. Noon on a Wednesday. Welcome in. Welcome in. What is on your mind? What would you like to get into? I know what I want to get into. Stay tuned. I'm Matt. Beaver's here. Thank goodness he's here. And thank goodness you're here. Appreciate you being here. There's lots of ways for you to be a part of the show. If this is your first time to join in, I'll spit these numbers out quickly, but don't fret. I'll repeat them. The number to text the show on the Country Pleasing text line is 885-3776. Also, call me on the Davini phone, 897-1059. And hey to you out there in YouTube, and Facebook, and X, formerly Twitter land. And if you're looking at the live stream over there on one of those social channels, then feel free to pop in a comment right there. It'll pop up here on the screen in front of me. And then I can pull it in and put it on the screen where everybody can see it, so I can see everything all at once. All these screens in here. It's really a nice setup. I got to say it is. In the Bureau. The Bureau, that is the Farm Bureau Insurance Studio. Mississippi Farm Bureau Insurance. Go with the home team. They are your home team. How y'all feeling about baseball? When you attend a baseball game and they have the seventh inning stretch, do you stand up? Do you actually stand up and stretch during the seventh inning stretch? Okay, and if you do, are you standing up because it's a good time to do it, or you feel obligated and you don't want to be the only one standing down? Or sitting down. Like when you go to something and everybody stands up and starts doing applause, like a standing ovation, you stand up and do it too just because you're obligated. You don't really want to. You just don't want to be the only one sitting down. Let me know. Yeah, I got baseball on the brain. We had midweek baseball last night in college. Jake continues to rake for the Rays. I've watched a lot of Rays baseball, Tampa Bay Rays, the last couple of days. So get it on in here. Whatever you want to get into is cool with me. We got headlines coming up also. Grumpy texted the show. He said, Matt, Jake Mangum continues to amaze. Jake is an impressive young man besides being a great baseball player. Grumpy had a wonderful conversation with Jake a couple of years ago, which Grumpy will never forget, almost as much as when Grumpy met Beaver a few months ago. Wow, that's high cotton. One-on-one conversations, memorable conversations with Jake Mangum and with Beaver in recent times for Grumpy. He said, as an older Mississippian, Grumpy is proud of successful young ambassadors for Mississippi like Jake and Beaver. Signed, Hail State. Hey, good old buddy, old pal Beef.
Hello, Matt Wyatt.
How you feel about being lumped in there with Jake Mangum on Grumpy's list?
I thought that was interesting. I'll take it. I'll take it, but I've never gone for 4 for 4 in a Major League Baseball game, so I don't know that I warrant it, but I will take it.
Take it. I don't think I've ever gone 4 for 4 in anything. Really? I mean, you just name the category, and I don't think I went 4 for 4 at any point in time. Well, how's your Wednesday going?
So far, so good.
Okay. You ready for rain for the next few days? Y'all going to get it? We're going to get it in North Mississippi.
Well, we have to keep from getting blown off the roads today.
Yeah, I know
it's been windy here.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, let's see. Look at this. All right, where I live in North Mississippi, we've got a wind advisory. Beaver, we've got 21-mile-an-hour winds, gusts up to 37. And the thing about that, Beaver, is you would think the wind would, yes, when it rains, it washes the pollen away, but the wind does not blow it away. You notice, I don't know what it is about that pollen. It's just so sticky, but like it's on your car. The wind can blow 40 miles an hour, and it does not blow the pollen off your car. Let's see. I don't know. It's like it's slight chances of just pop-up thunderstorms a good bit for the next 3 days, and then overnight, Saturday night into Sunday morning, it's like it's definitely going to rain a lot and storm. But see, that's what I'm looking at right there is actually North Mississippi. Let me see what it says for Jackson right here. Is this good radio? Beav, is this good radio?
How much time we got left?
Yeah. How we doing on time, Beav? Yeah, same thing for Jackson. Warm air blowing in there. Very windy today. Highs in the upper 80s the next 3 days. And each day, just like slight chances of every now and then, the sun's going to be out, and you're going to be fine. All of a sudden, boom, showers, and it'll be over. We're going to have that. And then, yeah, in Jackson, Beaver, Saturday night, overnight Saturday night into Sunday morning, you better hold on to things. Let's hope it doesn't get too severe. Get this, Beaver. Get this. This ought to please you. So Saturday in Jackson, the high is 84. Storming, raining. It's going to thunderstorm all night Saturday night after a day where it's hot and muggy. Well, warm and muggy, high of 84. Sunday, after the storm comes through Jackson on Sunday, your high is going to be 65 with a low of 47 that night. Monday in Jackson, a high of 60 with a low of 43. And Tuesday in Jackson, a high of 67 with a low of 41. Now, again, it can change, but I want to tell you this. After this week, pop-up thunderstorms and then a big storm coming in Saturday night, Beaver, for the next week after that, it is saying we're going to have gorgeous weather here. And cool at that. Now, here, let me just say this before I do headlines. And I got a lot of texts I'm going to get to here. So, Jeremy and Dog Tired and Hunter and Jason and everybody, I'm coming to your texts. Let me say this before I do headlines. I asked Beaver the question. I said, is this good radio? Let me just tell you. Talking about the weather is universal. Okay, who was it? Mr. King yesterday who got on my case for not talking enough sports? Beaver, surely Mr. King would agree that it's fine to preempt sports with weather discussions. Don't you think?
You
hesitated.
It can be kind of important. People need to be. They always say, be weather aware.
Yeah. Around here they say keep your head on a swivel, but that means the same thing. It means the same thing. All right, enough weather. Time for headlines.
Good evening. I'm Ron Burgundy, and this is what's happening in your world.
Good evening, and welcome to Eyewitness News.
Here's what's making news.
Headlines brought to you by the Mortgage Man Group here in Mississippi, powered by Illuminate Bank. The Mortgage Man Group, find them online at mortgagemanms.com, mortgagemanms.com. Anything mortgage related, buying, refinancing, go there, mortgagemanms.com. Midweek baseball last night up in Oxford. It didn't take long. It didn't take as long as you thought it would for a game that included 25 runs combined and 20 hits combined. Ole Miss, ninth-ranked Ole Miss with an 18-7 win in baseball last night over Jackson State. Ole Miss, the 18 runs on 10 hits. Jackson State had 7 runs on 10 hits of its own. And so the ball was flying around the yard last night at Swayze, but Ole Miss gets the win 18-7. A really nice midweek win for Southern Miss. Competitive Tulane team in there from the American Conference last night at Pete Taylor Park, and Southern Miss just whipped them 13-6. It's a little bit like the Ole Miss Jackson State game where, the hits were both teams hit the ball. Tulane had 14 hits, Southern Miss had 16, but Southern Miss had the timely hitting and a nice win 13-6. And State, excuse me, State on the road at Memphis, midweek win, had to come from behind to get it. Didn't start off great, but, eventually getting going. 5 runs on 6 hits for State, 3 runs on 8 hits for Memphis. State gets the win. So State was out hit, did have an error in the game again. Not a lot of surprise this year, the way it's going for State. But able to get the runs across and a big hit from Hunter Hines that left the yard. State gets a midweek win 5-3 and get ready to host South Carolina this weekend. And as we mentioned a little bit earlier, thanks to a text from Grumpy that got us going on that subject, Jake Mangum, one day after he went 4 for 4 with a couple of RBIs and 2 stolen bases and a run scored in his second Major League Baseball game, starting in right field for the Tampa Bay Rays in his third Major League Baseball game yesterday, he went 3 for 4 with 2 more RBIs and at least 1 more stolen base. He's unbelievable. His first at bat of the game, he came up with 2 guys in scoring position.
Now it was second and third and 1 out.
And both runners in scoring position for Jake Mangum. And there's a base hit. That will drive home Yandy from third. Lyle's going to follow from second base. Mangum's going to go into second with a double. Boy, he is red hot. Mangum's second double, picking up RBIs 3 and 4.
So drove in 2 more, 3 more hits and 4 at-bats last night for Jake. So that means in the last 2 ball games, which are games 2 and 3 of his career, he is 7 for 8 at the plate with 4 RBIs, 4 stolen bases, and I think 4 runs scored. I could go back and it's either 3 or 4 runs scored. So, and it's just, you wonder when he's going to cool off. And now, let's just say this, too. Let's set the expectations. It's probably the entire Rays lineup is going to really cool off today because Pirates-Rays, their game today, features Paul Skeens on the mound for the Pittsburgh Pirates. And let's see, they're playing right now. Game on right now. I'm going to turn that on. Hang on a second. Look, let me just tell y'all something, okay? By the way, those are your headlines brought to you by the Mortgage Man Group, powered by Luminate Bank right here in Mississippi. Y'all tell Win I said, hey, Win! Yeah, so I realize that you're not supposed to do play-by-play updates of live sporting events that other networks and things have the media rights to. So I'm not doing play-by-play, and I will not do play-by-play. However, I will keep you and me and us updated on what's happening because it's the top of the first right now in Tampa. The Rays are playing in the minor league park on the Steinbrenner Park because they're building a new major league ballpark in Tampa. So this year their home stadium is the minor league. They're actually starting Jake in left field today for this game. In fact, you had a little 2-out single out there, bloop single in front of him. They're showing on the broadcast. Last night they had Jake batting in the cleanup spot. 2 nights ago when he went 4 for 4. He was batting, I think, 8th in the lineup. He goes 4 for 4, lots of contact, and showed speed on the base pass, so they move him up in the lineup. He batted in the 4 spot last night. That went well and really worked out. Contact guy behind guys who are going to get on base. Today he's starting in left field, and they've got him batting 3rd in the lineup. They've moved him up into the 3 spot. And so I'll give you an update. It's top of the 1st right now. And so you're guaranteed to see Mangum at the plate in the bottom of the 1st coming up in just a few minutes against arguably, I guess you could argue it, the best pitcher in Major League Baseball in Paul Skeens. And I mean, there's a bunch of good ones. But so again, let me just say, because of all those things I just said, in a minute I will give you some pitch by pitch. Well, no, let me don't say that. I will give you minute by minute updates on how it's going for Jake and his at bat against Skeens in this game today. I'm a little disappointed, too, that the game's going on now that I won't be able to sit in front of the TV and watch it tonight. But, it's a weird thing, but I got a little, for me personally, I have a little thing going similar to what I did when Dak hit the NFL with the Cowboys. Prior to that, never been a Cowboys fan, didn't really care one way or the other, rooting for another team, my whole life. Just don't care. Unless they're playing the Chiefs, I don't care. Now, I found it interesting watching when they were on, but I didn't need to know anything about them. I didn't need to see them. Dak goes, and it's not like I got some sort of crazy crush on Dak. He played at State and was a record setter at State and the best quarterback to ever play at State, and liked the guy and got to know him when he was playing for the team. And so he goes to the Cowboys, wins the job. I've watched every Cowboys game I could watch since he got up there. And we'll continue. And now, same thing, Rays. Just an afterthought. The Rays, NL East, if they're playing the Yankees or something and it's on, yeah, maybe I got it on. Otherwise, I'm never searching out a Rays game. And they call Jake up. I don't want to miss a pitch. Find myself kind of rooting for the Rays. So I don't know if you're the same way, but that's kind of the way I am. Let's see. Hunter texted the show on the Country Pleasing text line, and he said, "Hey, Matt, I was wondering if you ever practiced on the South Farm while at State. I was trying to do research on the South Farm practices and could not find any information about previous years." That's from Hunter. Well, Hunter, no. When I was in school in the 90s, every practice I ever participated in was either on the practice fields up there behind Shire Complex, which is now, the fields adjacent to the Seal football complex in that same location. And then every now and then, the old indoor facility, which was like 50 yards inside the Shire complex if the weather was bad. That's it. We never went to the South Farm. As far as I know, that started with Mullen. The first that I am aware of that took the team to practice in the preseason at South Farm was Mullen. All right. Dog Tired in Florence says, yep, okay. Rest in peace, Val Kilmer. I saw that. What was he, 65 years old? I know he'd been sick, but the internet was saying that overnight Val Kilmer passed away. He said, Val Kilmer movies. Tombstone. He said the most misunderstood saying was, "I'll be your huckleberry." He says is actually, "I'll be your huckle bearer," which is AKA pallbearer. He wasn't saying huckleberry. He was saying in that, the Hollywood Southern drawl edition of our accent is huckleberry instead of, and it sounded like huckleberry. And in the movie Top Gun, he played the villain. And then there's some movie called The Saint. He said this movie should have become a franchise like James Bond, like James Bond, but it was a one and done. I'm not familiar with The Saint. I'm not familiar with that. Dog Tired also let me know before Tampa, Jake played in the minors for the Marlins. The Jumbo Shrimp. He said, "I want a Jacksonville Jumbo Shrimp jersey." Yeah, but what, drafted by the Mets? No, that's who brought him up. Let's see here. I got an unnamed texter regarding going 4 for 4. I said, I don't think I've gone 4 for 4 in anything ever. He said the only 4 for 4 I've ever had was at Wendy's. For what for $4? For what? Nuggets? Yeah, the wind blowing like that. War Eagle Jeremy said, wind blowing like that. He said, tie down your patio furniture. I mean, no joke. You better drive the stakes in the ground around your tent, or, it'll be airborne going into orbit soon. Said if you include last night's game, Megan went 6 for 6. Well, no. See, that's the thing. He was 3 for 4 last night. So, well, he did at one point. That's right. He got it up to 6 for his last 6. That's right. Ray's coming up to bat, by the way, in the bottom of the first. So the first 3 hitters. And I told you Mangum's starting in left, batting third in this game. And they're about to face Skeens. All right, just getting started with y'all here. Coming to your text, Jason, Patrick, Real Unnamed, Dog Tire, PT, Mailman, all y'all. Coming up. And on the live stream, hey to you, if you're on Facebook or YouTube or X, formerly Twitter, just drop a comment, post it right there. And when you put it in, I can see it all in one screen. We'll pop it on the screen, make you a part of the show that way. Just getting started with some hot coffee in the Bureau. That is the Farm Bureau Insurance Studio. Stick around.
I'm Eddie Holcomb with Washington County Farm Bureau Insurance.
I'm Scott Rainwater with Farm Bureau Insurance here in Washington County.
I'm Blake Policini with Washington County Farm Bureau.
I'm Brian Street with Farm Bureau Insurance in Washington County, and we are your home team.
I think you know what time it is. It's time to eat. Country pleasing, jalapeno and cheddar, green onion. And no, it's not a grill, see that? But the fire is just about burnt down enough where it's time to put some of this on there. And the only decision when it comes to country pleasing sausage is which flavor, jalapeno and cheddar or maybe green onion. Both.
Break me off a piece of that.
Look at that. You know what that is? That's real green onion. Like that monkey who set his tail on a railroad track. It won't be long now. Country Pleasing sausage, these flavors, and many, many others. Get them online at countrypleasing.com. At a grocery store near you, pretty much anywhere in the Southeast. Walk up in there and say, Country Pleasing, please. They'll know what you're talking about.
Grew up on a family farm out past Leland, just born and raised here in the Mississippi Delta. Never really thought about moving out. It's where it's where my roots are. Our family's a big sports family. It was 4 boys and 1 girl, and all 4 of us boys went and played ball at Delta Community College. My dad, he's always been honestly a role model of mine. He's farmed his whole life. We attend St. James Catholic Church in Leland, where we went to church my whole life, and then now continuing my family, me and my wife and my 3 kids. Being a Christian is everything for me and my family. Being born and raised here in this area, there's just something about this area. I mean, when you pull into it, you don't see a whole lot, but being born and raised here and the farm families and just the people that grew up here, the people that you see here, you see in the grocery store, you go to church with, small town community, you're gonna run into people that you know. It puts a smile on your face knowing that you know the people in your area, in your community. Get to know them as friends and now bring them in to my office here and creating that relationship, extending it on, getting them as insureds, as customers of mine, who I call friend. I'm Blake Policini with Washington County Farm Bureau, and we are the home team.
Y'all have heard me talk about
Murray West and murraywest.com. They made the hat that I'm wearing. Got the Natchez Trace logo on it. I've told you a little bit about what they are. Contract embroidery company here in Mississippi. Started back in 1996, family owned. They do a phenomenal job, and I got to go visit their place up in New Albany. Let me show you a little bit about it. When I say they do quality stuff, they really do. And so custom apparel, team stuff, I mean, really and truly, just about every high school in the state is sending their embroidered, team gear, jackets, shirts, hats, stuff. Baseball teams, football teams, they're sending it to the folks at Murray West in New Albany. You go to their website, murraywest.com, you go to the bottom, you can kind of see some of the prairie.
On the Zone 105.9 and worldwide at thezone1059.com.
Update from Tampa. Jake Mangum batting third, starting in left field today. He was 4 for 4 2 days ago. 3 for 4 last night. Today, starting in left field, batting third in the lineup. In the first inning, he saw his first pitch from Paul Skeens, and he has his first hit of the day. One pitch. Skeens is a righty, Jake batting lefty. He's a switch hitter. It was a splitter on the outside corner, falling away from him that Jake did, guess what? First pitch, swinging, slap, single, opposite through the 6 hole between the shortstop and the third base. He's 1 for 1 today. You had a couple of flyouts in front of him and then a ground out to end the inning. Jake's 1 for 1. It's unheard of what he's doing. The start is just incredible. It's just unheard of. By the way, the Pirates just saw the first pitch at the top of the second. You get a leadoff triple, line drive, tailing away from the center fielder. He dove for it, missed it. It goes all the way to the wall, so they're standing at third with no outs. Anyhow, there's your update on the ballgame. Hail State fan on YouTube, what's up? Here on this Wednesday, he said, I'm interested to know how many MLB players will swap to the torpedo bat. Yeah, I guess there's some that you're probably going to have this for every player in Major League Baseball. Like the numbers continue to pile up, this is probably going to be the case for everybody. One of 3 scenarios, okay? Hail State fan number 1. They're going to look at it, players are going to look at it and go, no, it's a fad. It's also not what I'm used to. Feel and comfort and routine is more important. I'm not struggling that bad. I like what I got going. I'm sticking with what I'm used to. 2, players that go, okay, I don't know about the feel, but the numbers don't lie. I'm going with the numbers. Okay, so they're gonna trust the numbers. And then you're gonna have some cases where a third scenario where a player's gonna go, I've had a ton of contact jammed and off the logo and missing the fat part of the bat on the inside part of the plate. For that reason, I'm gonna change it up. You see what I mean? Like 3 different scenarios. 1, I'm not changing routine. I don't trust it. 2, the numbers are everything. They don't lie. 3, I'm struggling. I might as well try it. I think those are, and every player is going to fall in one of those 3 categories, I would imagine. Hey, Debbie. She's on Facebook. She said, hey, well, back at you, Debbie. Thanks for being a part of the show today. All right, over to the country-pleasing text line. Patrick said Adam Frazier leading off for the Pirates. Jake hitting in the 3 spot for the Rays. Yeah, Frazier he's playing second base, batting leadoff. Adam has had a little tough time at the plate here in the early part of the year, but he'll get it going, as he always does. PT for MSU, talking about Val Kilmer and Tombstone. Tombstone, one of my favorite movies, and he pretty well carried that movie. Of course, Kurt Russell, Bill Paxton, and Sam Elliott weren't chopped liver. Yeah, that's right. I mean, they had a bunch of stars. Yeah, that Doc Holliday character that he portrayed in Tombstone is sort of iconic. And Mailman David, speaking of his line about the Huckleberry thing, it wasn't actually Huckleberry. That's the interpretation. He's trying to say Hucklebearer, which is, or that's what it means anyway, which means pallbearer. I'll be your Hucklebearer. Now, here's what Mailman David said. He said, what, Huckleberry, not Hucklebearer. He did say Huckleberry. He said it's written in the original script as Huckleberry, and he even named his book, I'm Your Huckleberry. He says, don't believe what you read on the internet. Well, I guess, okay, but maybe I misinterpret, but what I think Dog Tired was saying was that's where it comes from. Like, it's natural that you would. So I get that. Maybe I misinterpreted what he said, so I get it, that naturally you could say Huckleberry instead of Hucklebearer, even though the term is Hucklebearer, or it would almost colloquially become Huckleberry. I get it. Which is probably the truth of it. I just never heard it before the movie. Did y'all? I'd never heard that before. All right. Jason out in Flagstaff says, listen to that whole state game last night, and it's like two different teams between the first few innings and the last. He says one isn't beating anybody. The other has something going forward. Yeah, the way they turned it on late. You know, and that's a thing you see a lot in baseball. And you do, right? Games where an inning or two where it looks like you slept walked in there, and then all of a sudden the light bulb comes on. Man, look. I saw some more, like last night I was going to look for updates. I had gone to pick Mary Lydia up from something, and so I was sitting out there, and I was on my phone, and I looked up, just search Hail State on X to see what's being said, you know, to get ball game scores and updates and that kind of thing. And, well, of course, one of the things I ran into, again, last night, Jason, is you see a lot of people on there. I say a lot. I mean, it's kind of a few of the same ones. There's a bunch of accounts where people, you don't even know who the person is behind it. It's just some name like dog this or dog that, you know, and a bunch of numbers or some term. And it's a lot of stuff in there about how terrible Lamonis is, and he's an awful coach and he needs to be fired right now. And, you know, that coupled with some people in media deciding that, okay, here's my strong hot take on it, so I'm going to go with that and see if I can get a little attention. Base hit Adam Frazier, by the way, drives in a run for the Pirates in the top of the second. Little RBI single for the former Bulldog shortstop, starting at second base today for the Pirates. But anyway, back to that. You know, I don't know. I did some more thinking about it last night, Jason, going, what good does it do anybody? I mean, that's the thing I would like to know. I really would. And maybe I need someone to open my eyes. Really, I'm willing to learn. I'm an old dog, but I can still learn some new tricks. So let's say a fan with a social media account or a media person with a following, what good does anyone think it does to say on March the 31st or April the 1st, fire the coach right now, fire him, he's got to go. He's the problem. And when I say that, I mean like fire him now. Don't wait till the end of the year. Get rid of him now. Go ahead and make your decision now that you're going to make a change. What I'm saying is, what good is that supposed to do? What's the purpose of it? Shouldn't we do things with a purpose in mind? And if we don't have a purpose in mind, shouldn't we not do it? I mean, that's not even preachy. That's just sort of like just normal life, I think. Really? Like, what do you think you are contributing to? That's what I would want to know. Help me out here, Jason. Let's just say, again, instead of calling one out, you know what I'm talking about. You got a handful of 10 to 15 different Mississippi State fan X/Twitter accounts that they don't have a person's name or whatever. It's like it's sort of an anonymous deal. They're just, they're big state accounts run by a fan somewhere. So think about one of those. They're constantly running down Lamonis, constantly reminding everybody on this particular account that they want him fired. They want him fired yesterday, not even today. Yesterday, fire him. He's the problem. It's the problem. Him. It'll fix everything. Let's go ahead and do that now. Mid-season, let's do it. And let Justin Parker be the interim coach and let him run things. So here's my question. How would you answer this question? If I ask you, in your opinion, do you think that person behind that account thinks they are contributing to? Really? Because if it's just blowing off steam, man, that's so ineffective. I could tell that person lots of different ways that would be more effective in blowing off steam. So that can't be it. What do they think they're accomplishing? It's asinine to me. It really is. It is unintelligent. I hate to say it. It's what it is. It's a lack of thinking by somebody to take that approach now. Sure, you want him, you think he's the problem, yeah. But anybody knows you get to the end of the year and then they decide if they're going to fire him or not. Now? No. Stick around.
Do you really need to study game film in bed?
I'm Eddie Holcomb with Washington County Farm Bureau Insurance.
I'm Scott Rainwater with Farm Bureau Insurance here in Washington County.
I'm Blake Policini with Washington County Farm Bureau.
I'm Brian Street with Farm Bureau Insurance in Washington County, and we are your home team.
I think you know what time it is. It's time to eat. Country pleasing, jalapeno and cheddar, green onion. And no, it's not a grill, see that? But the fire is just about burnt down enough where it's time to put some of this on there. And the only decision when it comes to country pleasing sausage is which flavor, jalapeno and cheddar or maybe green onion. Both.
Break me off a piece of that.
Look at that, what that is. That's real green onion. Like that monkey who set his tail on a railroad track. It won't be long now. Country Pleasing sausage, these flavors, and many, many others. Get them online at countrypleasing.com. At a grocery store near you, pretty much anywhere in the Southeast. Walk up in there and say, Country Pleasing, please. They'll know what you're talking about.
Grew up on a family farm out past Leland, just born and raised here in the Mississippi Delta. Never really thought about moving out. It's where it's where my roots are. Our family's a big sports family. It was 4 boys and 1 girl, and all 4 of us boys went and played ball at Delta Community College. My dad, he's always been honestly a role model of mine. He's farmed his whole life. We attend St. James Catholic Church in Leland, where we went to church my whole life, and then now continuing my family, me and my wife and my 3 kids. Being a Christian is everything for me and my family. Being born and raised here in this area, there's just something about this area. I mean, when you pull into it, you don't see a whole lot, but being born and raised here and the farm families and just the people that grew up here, the people that you see here, you see in the grocery store, you go to church with, small town community, you're gonna run into people that you know. It puts a smile on your face knowing that you know the people in your area, in your community. Get to know them as friends and now bring them in to my office here and creating that relationship, extending it on, getting them as insureds, as customers of mine, who I call friends. I'm Blake Policini with Washington County Farm Bureau, and we are the home team.
Y'all have heard me talk about Murray West and MurrayWest.com. They made the hat that I'm wearing. Got the Natchez Trace logo on it. I've told you a little bit about what they are. Contract embroidery company here in Mississippi. Started back in 1996, family owned. They do a phenomenal job, and I got to go visit their place up in New Albany. Let me show you a little bit about it. I say they do quality stuff. They really do. And so custom apparel, team stuff, I mean, really and truly, just about every high school in the state is sending their embroidered, team gear, jackets, shirts, hats, stuff. Baseball teams, football teams, they're sending it to the folks at Murray West in New Albany. You go to their website, MurrayWest.com.
Get in on the conversation and tell him what you think right now on the Zone 105.9 and worldwide at thezone1059.com.
Back with you, I'm Matt. In the Bureau, the Mississippi Farm Bureau Insurance Studio. Farm Bureau, go! With the home team. Roger on Facebook with a different approach, a different look at it than what I have. He says, I kind of got to disagree with you, Matt. He says, it can be a morale booster in the dugout. He said, look what happened when Coach Henderson was moved to the interim head coach position. He took that team to the College World Series. Yeah, I mean, I guess that's true. I'll give you that, Roger, that, yeah, I'm certain there are probably some scenarios. I mean, I started to call them rare. I think they're rare. Certainly at that level, I think they're rare. Scenarios where you just have a coach who is so disliked by the team and team members, or, coaches, you have a scenario where a coach is obviously not doing what he's supposed to do and he's lost the respect of the team. Yeah, where it might be better in that scenario to remove him. Okay, sooner the better. Okay, but what I'm willing to say is it doesn't look that way to me. Maybe I'm not talking to the right people. And maybe I'm looking at it from the wrong angle. But you don't have like lack of effort. You don't have what appears to be disciplined things. You don't have all the telltale. You don't have what you would think, I guess, would be the telltale signs of a dugout that has lost respect for their coach. I mean, I don't see that, and again, it's like you got to see a little more. Yeah, I just feel like, all things considered, you got to see a whole lot more and get a little closer to how this thing's going to finish out to really make an evaluation of it going forward. That's just what I think. Now, if somebody has some information that, if you got a morale problem on your team and other things that go along with that, then, maybe it is a different scenario. I'm not aware of it, but I wouldn't be, really. I'm not in that dugout. I don't know. Maybe somebody else knows. All right, more texts coming your way. Going over to the phone line right now, Jason in Flagstaff, Arizona. What's up, Jason? You know what? I don't really hear him very well. Beaver, is that just me or the same with you? I can't really hear him. Okay. That was weird. Like the volume level on his call coming to me was really low. Beav, I don't know if it was that way on the radio or not, but I couldn't, on my end, I couldn't really hear him. Let's try it again, Jason. Okay, Rebel Tiger Dog, he wants to call in number. Here it is. You want to call me on the Divinity Equipment phone line. The number to call is 897-1059. Just like the radio station, 1059. 897-1059. It's a 601 number. Let me know. Real C texted the show. He says, Matt, he says, I don't want people, quote unquote, fired, but I do expect more from what should be a premier program in the country. Currently ranked 126th in fielding nationally and 14th in the SEC. He says that's why our pitchers are having to get bonus outs in so many innings. It's an example of my frustration, he says. Now, if the current staff can fix it, best get after it. Sure. Hey, and and I'm with you on that too, Real C. Like that's been a criticism that I've kind of voiced I over the last ever how many years, especially early in years since the College World Series team. It looked like a team that, they were kind of sloppy in a lot of the little things. They're doing a lot of the big things like this year. They do a lot of the big things well, hit it out of the park, pitch it well, lots of strikeouts. But the little things that are all, it's almost like base running, fielding, first and third situations, bunt, fielding, and how you defend it. Like all those things that are really just working on it. It's not even really an ability thing. It's just working on it. They've been very sloppy in a lot of those things. All right, over to the phone. Rebel Tiger Dog called in. What's up, RTD? You've got it.
Hey, Matt. How you doing, man?
I'm doing great.
Texter, first-time caller. Decided to call in because of the baseball that's on my mind. My thoughts on it are give the man the rest of the season at least. We see it in Major League Baseball. We see it in college. You can get hot at the right.
I was hearing him there for a minute. I'm not real sure what again, if and it sounds like we almost lost you, Rebel Tiger Dog. I was hearing you a little bit there faintly for a minute, and then it sort of went away. So whatever issue you've got in the somebody standing on the court, as they say. We'll try to get that figured out, and I apologize for the issue. So I know sometimes your thoughts are a lot to text, Rebel Tiger Dog. Maybe if you have time, just text it in. Patrick on the Country Pleasing text line. I guess this would be in regards to Jake Mangum. He said, I saw somewhere that the last time a rookie in his first 2 to 3 games with multiple hits, stolen bases, and extra base hits hadn't been done since 1901, if that's factual. I saw that too, and it was the same. I may have been confused, but it was the same stat that I thought somebody attributed to Casey Stengel in like 1912. And then later the tweet comes out and says somebody hadn't done it since 1901. Well, this is what we know. It's been over 100 years, one way or the other, since somebody broke in as a rookie and did that in their first few games. But, you know, I guess it's not an asterisk, but it's something to note. You know, Jake's not 24, 25, 26. You know, he's 29, older guy, really been around the block. And you think about it, you know, the type of pitching that he's seeing at the AAA level last year, really high level, game in, game out. No, it's not major league pitching. No, but it's a really high level. And you win the batting title. I mean, you just think about the level of athletes, the level of player that across the board is playing in AAA, and you go win the batting title. It's just no wonder that at this point in his life and his career, he's ready. And we probably shouldn't be all that surprised that he steps in there and he's ready to put the bat on the ball and make contact. And you know, Patrick, this is the discussion that we'll have to have. If it keeps going, it's not going to be at this pace long term, but if he keeps going, he locks in the major leagues, they keep him there, and off goes his career, and we get to watch him for the next ever how many years, and he's good. You know, the discussion is going to be something along the lines of, doesn't Major League Baseball need more players coming up in a Jake Mangum type of mold? There aren't many of them out there, because you look back at what Major League Baseball featured over the last 10 to 15 years, and they really have been trying to fix it and are fixing it to get away from low batting averages, tremendously high strikeout numbers, and the only contact you get is the occasional home run. Well, that was boring and it drove people away. Well, they've worked on it and they've shortened the game and line. But you need guys like Jake Mangum that you can't strike them out. They're always putting the ball in play. They hit a lot of singles and every now and then bounce one off the warning track, but they're not going to hit 30 home runs. But you need those guys. I think, I don't know this, but I think the clock is going to get us here on the phone call. That's what I think. So we might want to push that back to the start of hour 2, just because I hate to cut it short. And I know, Jason, you went to some effort to get back in here, but let's do that. I know, even though I don't hear the music right now, I'm about to hear it any second now. And so let's either hang on and try it again at the top of hour 2 or call me back and we'll pick the conversation up there. I hate to, you get 5 words in and then the music hits and we have to go. More texts, more calls, more comments. And hour number 2 on this Wednesday. In the Bureau, the Mississippi Farm Bureau Insurance Studio. Farm Bureau Insurance. Go! With the home team. Stick around.
I was born and raised in Greenville. I've always called Greenville home. This is where I, was raised, went to high school, graduated high school, worked all my life here leading up to going to college. So even when I moved from Greenville, I always told people, they asked me where you're from, I always said I'm from Greenville. I have mother, father, brother, niece, aunt, all live here in Greenville. So this is home. This is where I, live, and I've just always called it home. Small town, I feel like I could walk in any place tomorrow and know 2 to 3 people in there. It's small town. Someone's on the side of the road broken down. Hey, you need a boost, flat tire, you need help changing it. That's just kind of, what I love about this area. The blues and the food and everything that comes along with the Mississippi Delta that I love. I tell people all the time, my business cards have my cell phone number on them for a reason. Insurance doesn't happen from 8 to 5. When you need me, it's going to be after 5. It hardly ever happens where you have a wreck, get pulled over, need an insurance card, wind blows, shingles off your roof. All these things happen, and it's typically after 5. And so the ability for someone to call me, get in contact with me, text me, ask me a question, and that's what it's about to me, is helping the people that we serve, is taking care of people, and them knowing that they can count on me whenever they need me. I am Brian Street with Farm Bureau Insurance in Washington County, and we are your home team.
Y'all have heard me talk about Murray West and MurrayWest.com. They made the hat that I'm wearing. Got the Natchez Trace logo on it. I've told you a little bit about what they are. Contract embroidery company here in Mississippi. Started back in 1996, family owned. They do a phenomenal job, and I got to go visit their place up in New Albany. Let me show you a little bit about it. When I say they do quality stuff, they really do. And so custom apparel, team stuff, really and truly, just about every high school in the state is sending their embroidered, team gear, jackets, shirts, hats, stuff. Baseball teams, football teams, they're sending it to the folks at Murray West in New Albany. You go to their website, MurrayWest.com, you go to the bottom, you can kind of see some of the Prairie Wildlife, Ole Miss Athletics, Gentile, others that they work with. Can't recommend them enough. If you need your logo printed, embroidered, sewn on to anything, custom apparel and other stuff, make sure you go there. Murray West, you can find them online. MurrayWest.com. That's MURRY West.com.
Or acai bowl with Nutella. You're on Tropic Time now at Tropical Smoothie Cafe. Terms and conditions apply. Easy Cater is the...
I'm 𝐍𝐬𝐬𝐢𝐬𝐬𝐢 with Washington County Farm Bureau Insurance.
I'm Scott Rainwater with Farm Bureau Insurance here in Washington County.
I'm Blake Policini with Washington County Farm Bureau.
I am Brian Street with Farm Bureau Insurance in Washington County, and we are your home team.
Y'all have heard me talk about Murray West and MurrayWest.com. They made the hat that I'm wearing. Got the Natchez Trace logo on it. I've told you a little bit about what they are. Contract embroidery company here in Mississippi. Started back in 1996, family owned. They do a phenomenal job, and I got to go visit their place up in New Albany. Let me show you a little bit about it. When I say they do quality stuff, they really do. And so custom apparel, team stuff, really and truly, just about every high school in the state is sending their embroidered, team gear, jackets, shirts, hats, stuff. Baseball teams, football teams, they're sending it to the folks at Murray West in New Albany. You go to their website, MurrayWest.com, you go to the bottom, you can kind of see some of the Prairie Wildlife, Ole Miss Athletics, Gentile, others that they work with.
We are good to go with more of the Matt Wyatt Show coming to you direct and live at the Zone 105.9 and worldwide.
Now, here we go.
At the Zone1059.com.
All right, back with you. Here we go. Hour number 2 of the show. Off and running with you. I'm Matt in the Bureau, the Mississippi Farm Bureau Insurance Studio. Beaver is here. I'm here. You're here. Thank goodness you're here. That's the most important part of that trio is you. If you're not here, we don't have a reason to be here. Thank you for being a part of the show, commenting, texting, calling, and all of that. I'll give you the numbers as well coming up if you just tuned in. Numbers to text and to call. Right now, let me check. I think Jason is still hanging on.
He gone.
He gone. Okay. Jason, if you're listening, try me again. I had some, I think it was on my end. I had some phone line issues a minute ago, but call me back. So here's the number, 897-1059 if you want to get in. It's a 601 number, 897-1059. Text me on the Country Pleasin' text line, Country Pleasin' sausage on grocery store shelves all around the Southeast. It's the best. Number to text, 885-3776. 885-3776. And then also if you're on the live stream, Facebook, YouTube, X, formerly Twitter, feel free to drop a comment in there, and I can see it all in one nice, neat column here on my screen, and we can get into whatever you want to get into there. You can be a part of the show that way. So however you get in here, whether it's calling or texting or commenting on the live stream, it's the same as just plopping down at the table beside us here and jumping into the conversation, which you are welcome to do. We'll even pour you some hot coffee in your mug from High Point Roasters in New Albany, Mississippi. That's breakfast blend right there. Yeah. Highly recommended. Go to highpointroasters.com. Headlines.
Good evening. I'm Ron Burgundy, and this is what's happening in your world.
Good evening and welcome to Eyewitness News.
Here's what's making news.
Headlines brought to you by the Mortgage Man Group here in Mississippi, powered by Luminate Bank. Find them online, mortgagemanms.com. Anything mortgage related, that's where you want to go. First up, you had midweek baseball last night on the college diamond. Ole Miss hosted Jackson State in Oxford last night. And it was Ole Miss a big winner, 18-7 in midweek baseball. State went on the road to Memphis. They fell behind, and they got out hit in the game, but came from behind and won. That's all that matters. Got a big home run last night from Hunter Hines. 5-3, the winner last night for State, and they get ready to host South Carolina this weekend. And Southern Miss, a really nice midweek win for the 13th ranked Golden Eagles last night at Pete Taylor Park. They beat Tulane 13-6, 13 runs on 16 hits for Southern Miss. They improved to 21-8 on the year. And in Major League Baseball, Jake Mangum stays hot. Jake continues to rake. 2 days ago, he went 4 for 4 in his second Major League game for the Rays. Last night was his third Major League game. He went 3 for 4 and drove in 2 more runs.
Jake Mangum. Hey, there's a base hit the other way, and Mangum comes up, picking up his first hit. Took it to the right of the shortstop and threw into left, and there it is. Mangum, there's that baseball for him.
That's the wrong one. Hold on, this is the one last night.
Second and third, and 1 out.
My bad.
Both runners in scoring position for Jake Mangum. And there's a base hit. That will drive home Yandy from third. Lau's going to follow from second base. Mangum's going to go into second with a double. Boy, he is red hot. Mangum's second double, picking up RBIs 3 and 4.
So he drove in 2 more, went 3 for 4 last night. He's got a hit today. He's 1 for 1 against Paul Skeens. He'll be leading off coming up in a little bit in the bottom of the 4th inning for the Rays. Over to the phone line. Let's try it again. On line 1, it's my man Jason, who, hey, Jason, I appreciate your persistence. What's up?
Nothing much. You hear me? All right?
Yeah, I got you loud and clear now.
All right, now, this might be a little bit long-winded, but you said something the other day that I wholeheartedly subscribe to, and you kind of hinted at it again this morning with certain people demanding coach being fired in the middle of the year.
Yeah.
And going the complete opposite way of them.
Yeah.
I do that too, and a lot of it's because I've noticed that it's the same exact people who started the Will Rogers as a weak arm crap in the middle of his freshman year. And then every time we lost the game, wouldn't let it go. And they started with the Lamonis needs to go about halfway through that first year after the national championship. Well, he can't do this another year. What? Fire him.
Yeah.
And just like the Will Rogers thing, they will not let it go because it gets clicks and it gets attention on the zitter.
Yeah.
Whatever. You know what I'm talking about, and I agree with you 100%.
Yeah.
With that said, that does not mean that this team can't play better because they can. They should not be 1-9.
Sure. No, 100% agree with that, Jason. You know,
that's why I sent that text message about Memphis this morning. And it's costed them a couple of games this year where they farted around in the outfield, give up a run or two here and there, and that's the difference in the ball game. And if they play clean, they probably win a couple of those games. Or, no, not a couple. They probably win most of them.
Right.
But can they clean it up? If they do, they've got something.
That's
if
it.
not, then they all deserve to be fired.
Well,
but there's no sense talking about it right now.
That's what I think. I think there's nothing that's really going to come of it in just driving and like I guess that's what I was getting at earlier, Jason. Is I almost need to do a better job in my head of categorizing what we hear from people. Okay, and going, all right, some people just want to vent. Okay, and if that's the medium they choose, fine. Then I can choose whether or not I listen to it or not. You want to vent. But what I was getting at a while ago is like kind of like what you're saying. If somebody thinks that they are actually contributing and affecting the situation in a positive way for the good of the program and the good of the university and the good of the team, and this is what they think is going to do that for the good of the team and the good of the program, then what's wrong with that person? What happened to it?
It has nothing to do with the program. They just want to be right. For however long, if they're right for 20 minutes, they want to bulldog it to the ground, and the minute they're wrong again, they don't say a word. They don't apologize. They're like crickets.
Right.
And like I mentioned, Will Rogers, it was the same with him. He has a weak arm for 2 years, and then that comeback at Auburn, they don't say a word for a month.
Yeah.
And then the next year, when we start struggling a little bit, he's got a weak arm again. So it's that. They just want to be right and have something to grab onto.
Right.
They don't care about the program.
Yeah. I think that's what it boils down
I'm
to.
pretty over them. That's why my alter ego is MSU Podcast, bro. I can't stand it anymore. I'm old for that crap.
Yeah, and
anyway,
well, and I'm with you, Jason. Appreciate you.
I'll get off here and listen. Y'all enjoy this cold weather that's coming. It sucks here, but
yeah,
maybe it'll do y'all some good.
Appreciate it, Jason. I know Beaver's
All right,
gonna
bye-bye.
love it. Thank you. I know Beaver's gonna love it. That's what I said. All this week, warm, rain possibility. Then Saturday night, big front, big rain, storms, and then boom, cold. Well, nice and cool and just gorgeous for a week. Highs in the 60s, lows in the 40s. Sleeveless Beaver's gonna love it. Hey, update real quick before we move on. It is bottom of the 4th, and Jake Mangum's leading off in the bottom of the 4th. It's his second at bat of the game against Paul Skeens, and then his first at bat. He had an opposite side single. He's a switch, so he's batting lefty against the righty Skeens, and he slapped one through the 6 hole and had a single a little 2-out single. He's ahead in the count right now, and I'll try to keep you updated if and when anything happens. And last thing, and then I'm going back to the phone line. What's interesting to me is how Jake is such a good opposite field hitter, and everything he's doing is attacking him away. It's almost like he's pitching to Jake's tendency, and we'll see if that continues to work out for Jake Mangum. All right, over to the phone line, the Davini Equipment phone. Wayne on line 2. What's up, Wayne?
They ain't going to try to get this took care of about this man buying that car by days.
Oh, yeah. So that's still going on?
Oh, I'm still fighting that battle.
Oh, man.
But I was talking to Beaver yesterday. It just don't seem like Jake Mangum. How old is he when he graduated the state? It don't seem like that man ought to be 29 years old.
Yeah, I know, but well, let's see.
27,
What was his? I mean, you're talking about somewhere. He's been in the minor leagues for 7 or 8 years. I mean, 7 years.
That don't seem like it. But, a lot of them have to battle that long.
That's right. That's right. That's right.
They don't lost their mind trying to get rid of Ramona.
Think so?
They just lost their. Yeah. I mean, Ole Miss wanted to get rid of Bianco. I mean, State's having a hard time.
Yeah.
But they beat the brakes off of Southern 18-3. But they're going to be all right, but they don't need to get rid of that man.
All right.
Sure.
Yeah.
And Will Rogers, is he going to the draft this year?
Well, I don't know.
I don't know either, huh?
I don't know. I hadn't heard a thing about it. His year at Washington didn't go too well. He kind of finished on the bench, and so I don't know if he's going to have that opportunity or not. I hope he does.
I know he will. Heck, his daddy is the quarterback, Joe Gilbert Brandon, for the Slate.
Yeah.
And that kid's going to be pretty good. He's going to get him some scholarship off.
Yeah.
He'll be a 11th grader. But anyway, buddy.
All right.
Let me get away to give me a little gas. Y'all need some syrup now. I still got your name on the go.
Well, I appreciate the offer, Wayne, and yeah, good luck on the car thing. Hope it turns out.
Oh, yeah, buddy.
All right.
All right. Y'all have a good one.
You too, man. Thanks for the call. For those that don't know, Wayne told us a while back he's dealing with a situation where somebody did the whole identity theft deal and bought a car like in his name and using, I don't know if they used his money, but like his name and identity and credit and and he's like, I didn't buy a car. So he's trying to deal with all that. What a mess that would be. All right, so Jake goes down swinging. It was a foul. He worked a full count, fouled a couple off, and then a foul tip into the catcher's glove, and he held on for strike 3. And so his second time up there, he did not reach base. He's 1 for 2 today. And you got a low-scoring game. 1-0 right now, Rays and Pirates. Now, when's the last time that justifiably on the radio in Mississippi, you were getting Tampa Bay Rays updates? And not only were you getting them, you wanted them. I think the answer to that would be never. I think the answer to that would be never. Now, listen, I got to cover something here real quick that is not sports or baseball related per se, but it's going to absolutely involve 2 people that I love in varying degrees. One is the homecoming queen and the other one's Beaver. Beaver.
Why to varying degrees? Why are you saying that I'm on lesser footing than your wife, who you've known for much longer? That doesn't seem fair.
Fair or not, that's exactly what I'm saying.
All right, then.
All right, big boy. Whether you knew it or not, today is the day. Whether you knew it or not, Beaver, today is the day. It is National Peanut Butter and Jelly Day. Did you know that today was National Peanut Butter and Jelly Day?
No, I did not. I figured you were going to be talking something about peanut butter and jelly from the song you played when I got in here today, but yep. I didn't know that this was that day, though.
It is. Hey, B, where you at? There you go. You know, Beaver, this could be used for torture. Do you realize that? Like you want to torture somebody, you lock them in a room, strap them down in a chair, and just play this 24 hours nonstop. Happy Peanut Butter and Jelly Day. One more time. Here we go. All right, listen. Now here's where the homecoming queen comes in. She's around here somewhere. I don't know if she hears me right now or not. I don't think she knew that today was National Peanut Butter and Jelly Day. But Beaver, I'm not exaggerating. 100% true story. I'll send you the picture to prove it. She walked in here into the bureau, that is the Farm Bureau Insurance studio, during Jason's phone call not 4 or 5 minutes ago. She had gotten this brace for her elbow. She banged her elbow up. And then she had something in her hand. She hands it to me. Beaver, I now hold in my hand. She brought to me a Reese's king size peanut butter and jelly Reese's cup.
I didn't know those were out yet.
I got it right here. It is peanut butter and strawberry jelly PB&J Reese's Big Cup. 2 of them in a package. And listen, there for about a month at the start of the new year. For the months of January and February, I counted calories, I watched what I ate, and I immediately lost weight. And now the month of March, I have totally canceled it all out. I started eating sweets and craving Little Debbie's, and now she brings 2, and I'm going to eat them. I'm going to eat them. But anyway, I bet she doesn't even know that today is peanut butter and jelly day. Have you ever had these PB&J Reese's Big Cups?
No, I didn't know they were out. I knew they were coming. The last I saw was like back in January. So I did not know they had been released yet.
Okay. Oh, so it's like this isn't something that has been out before.
No, those were new for this year. So, we always talk about don't eat on the radio.
Yeah.
But I feel like a live peanut butter and jelly cup analysis is, quite frankly, nobody get butt hurt, but you sure will. It's more important than a live Jake Mangum update.
What are you saying?
So I need you to take a bite and tell me about it.
Wait a minute. You're saying you're tired of the Jake Mangum updates?
Yeah.
Why?
It's been the longest 3 days ever.
What? Beaver, why?
135 games to go. Just do things for the next 6 months.
Okay, but you have to admit, you realize it's a big deal. He just got called up. This is new for us and for him. Well, there goes a home run for the Pirates, so they're going to take a 2-0 lead. All right, so you're saying a live on-the-air taste test?
I'd like one.
All right.
Because I'm very curious about these.
All right, hang on. Oh, my goodness, I opened the package. It smells so good. You know what it smells like, Beaver? A cross between a Reese's and a peanut butter and jelly sandwich. All right, here it goes. I mean, it smells very strawberry jelly. And it's a big one, too. All right, here we go. Come on. Come on. Here it is. All right. Yeah. Yeah, this is the real deal. B, this is the real deal right here, man. Listen. Hold on, time out. Okay.
Making a mistake.
Beaver, there is jelly. There's strawberry jelly on the bottom layer. Okay, just for 5 seconds. The homecoming queen has wandered into the studio. She does not have time to join me for very long. Annabeth, I wanted to thank you for this.
Hey, yeah. Is it good?
I was just telling Beaver, you didn't know. Today is National Peanut Butter and Jelly Day.
No.
It is. And not 10 minutes ago, you walked in here and handed me peanut butter and jelly, strawberry Reese's Big Cup.
I just bought it on a whim when I was checking out earlier and thought you and Beaver could discuss it. And if you liked it, I would get Beaver one and send it down through you next week.
This is really good. Beaver just made me do a live on-air taste test.
Beaver, have you had these?
No, I had no idea they were out yet.
I saw them. It said limited edition, so I guess they're not going to be out forever unless I get really good reviews. But I grabbed one.
It is really good.
If we were in Jackson, I would have grabbed one for Beaver.
Well, don't say that because now he's going to harp on we need to move there. He always does that.
Well, I'm glad it's good. I couldn't tell if it would be good or not.
Listen,
Happy Peanut Butter and Jelly Day.
Thank you. It's really good. See, the strawberry jelly is on the bottom.
Oh, and it also, I think, comes with a grape jelly, but those were bought. Those had all been bought.
Ah, the grape was more popular.
Yes.
Well, I like strawberry better anyway.
I thought you would.
The real question is, how am I going to get this last one to Beaver next week?
I'll buy him his very own.
Okay.
You and Beaver go together like peanut butter and jelly.
Yes. Yes. All right. Thank you for this.
You're welcome.
Happy PB&J Day.
PB&J. Bye, Beaver.
Bye, Annabeth.
And that is the beauty of live radio. Now I'm going to eat the rest of this thing, and we'll be back in a bit. Stick around.
I'm Eddie Holcomb with Washington County Farm Bureau Insurance.
I'm Scott Rainwater with Farm Bureau Insurance here in Washington County.
I'm Blake Policini with Washington County Farm Bureau.
I'm Brian Street with Farm Bureau Insurance in Washington County, and we are your home team.
I think you know what time it is. It's time to eat. Country pleasing, jalapeno and cheddar, green onion. And no, it's not a grill, see that? But the fire is just about burnt down enough where it's time to put some of this on there. And the only decision when it comes to country pleasing sausage is which flavor, jalapeno and cheddar or maybe green onion. Both.
Break me off a piece of that.
Look at that. You know what that is? That's real green onion. Like that monkey who set his tail on a railroad track. It won't be long now. Country Pleasing sausage, these flavors, and many, many others. Get them online at countrypleasing.com, at a grocery store near you, pretty much anywhere in the Southeast. Walk up in there and say, Country Pleasing, please. They'll know what you're talking about.
Grew up on a family farm out past Leland, just born and raised here in the Mississippi Delta. Never really thought about moving out. You know, it's where my roots are. Our family's a big sports family. It was 4 boys and 1 girl, and all 4 of us boys went and played ball at Delta Community College. My dad, he's always been honestly a role model of mine. He's farmed his whole life. We attend St. James Catholic Church in Leland, where we went to church my whole life, and then now continuing my family, me and my wife and my 3 kids. Being a Christian is everything for me and my family. Being born and raised here in this area, there's just something about this area. I mean, when you pull into it, you don't see a whole lot, but being born and raised here in the farm families and just the people that grew up here, the people that you see here, you see in the grocery store, you go to church with, small town community, you're gonna run into people that you know. It puts a smile on your face knowing that you know the people in your area, in your community. Get to know them as friends and now bring them in to my office here and creating that relationship, extending it on, getting them as insureds, as customers of mine. who I call friend. I'm Blake Policini with Washington County Farm Bureau, and we are the home team.
Y'all have heard me talk about Murray West and murraywest.com. They made the hat that I'm wearing. Got the Natchez Trace logo on it. I've told you a little bit about what they are. Contract embroidery company here in Mississippi. Started back in 1996, family owned. They do a phenomenal job, and I got to go visit their place up in New Albany. Let me show you a little bit about it. I say they do quality stuff. They really do. And so custom apparel, team stuff, I mean, really and truly, just about every high school in the state is sending their embroidered, team gear, jackets, shirts, hats, stuff. Baseball teams, football teams, they're sending it to the folks at Murray West in New Albany. You go to their website, murraywest.com, you go to the bottom, you can kind of see some of the Prairie Wildlife, Ole Miss Athletics.
Oh, I am starving. Don't worry, he's got a menu full on the Zone 105.9 and worldwide at the Zone 105.9.com.
Back with you, I'm Matt in the Bureau, the Mississippi Farm Bureau Insurance Studio. Rick, you have a good point. He says, it's strange. This is on Facebook. Rick says, it's strange how people have the discipline to go to the gym 5 days a week, but not to say no to Little Debbie's. It's true. This is strange. All right. Unnamed texter says, Matt, glad you enjoyed your Reese's. How about a shout out to Lance Lynn, retiring yesterday after 13 years and a lot of wins and strikeouts. Man, I'm telling you, a heck of a career for the former Ole Miss Rebel righty in the bigs. Let's see. I know, a stint in Chicago with the White Sox and a long stint with the Cardinals. Who else? Who else am I missing? I could look it up. But yeah, Lance Lynn. It's interesting to have hit an age where I can go back and remember covering him when he was in college, When I was fresh out of school, I was covering him. Big time player and neat guy and really, really a great pitcher. MSU 1980 texts the show. Matt, I just happened to be eating a Reese's Big Cup as you brought it up. He says, mine was sugar cookie though. So they're doing these Big Cup different flavors. You heard Annabeth say they had the peanut butter and jelly, the grape Reese's Big Cup. That one was bought out. This is strawberry. It's good, man. It's good. Grumpy texts the show, says, Matt, looks like sadly you're going to have to do more Beaver updates and less Jake updates. Yeah, I mean, Beaver, he's mad at Jake Mangum. He's tired of hearing from him and about him. To me, this is all a big deal. I don't know. Maybe Beaver would prefer us just preview the Final Four. Let's go over to the phone line, the Davini Equipment phone. Davini Equipment in Madison and in Jackson, your Kubota dealer. Got a call from Gator Matt. What's up, Matt?
Matt, okay, this is my opinion of Reese's Peanut Butter Cups.
All right.
I don't crave them like the rest of my household does. Like, my wife loves them. Now, if I do open a sleeve, there's not going to be one get by. They're all going to get eaten, right? Can we agree on that?
Yes.
Like, I can take them or leave them, but once I start, it's almost like, there's a problem. Have you tried the Nutter Butter oatmeal cream? Is that right?
Yes.
Is that what I had
Yes, and I have tried it thanks to Beaver. Beaver is the reason I've tried it. Once he heard they were coming out,
And I think I turned him on to it. I think I did.
Well, maybe so, but once he heard about it, he went and like religiously looked for them until he found some, and then he saved one for me and saved it for like a week, and I got to eat it when I was in Jackson the last time, and I'm telling you, it was worth the wait. It was really good.
Listen, here's another secret. You have to put it in the microwave for 13 seconds. Then eat it.
Okay.
You're welcome.
Thank you.
Oh, and then I got a bone to pick with you. How come? Okay, I'm driving through your stomping ground last week in Tupelo. Why am I just finding out that there is a Danvers in Tupelo? Good Lord.
You still there?
He just dropped the mic, dropped the phone on that one.
He got so into it, he hung up. You ever been to a Danvers, Beef?
No, I'm not familiar with this.
It's really kind of an old school. It's not, I guess you would call it restaurant, but it's like in between a deli and a restaurant. I don't know how to describe it. Phenomenal salad bar. And it's everything about it's kind of old school. And it's been there forever and ever and ever. And we used to go to Danvers a lot more when Mary Liddy was smaller, like a little squirt, because one, you can sit down in there and eat at tables and booths, and it's a little bit more stable than trying to eat in the car, with like a 4-year-old. We used to go in there more, but they would also always give her free ice cream. Like the little kids could get a little free cup of ice cream after, and she liked their French fries and hamburgers. Yeah, it's a great place. We just haven't been in a while. Yeah, Tupelo's got one. And I think there's one up in, in Collierville, Tennessee that does really well. That might have been the first one. I don't know the whole history. But yeah, that surprised me too. Like I didn't know that. Gator Matt's really excited about it. So much so that he hung up on me.
Hey, I got to, now that Gator Matt brought that up though, I got to tell you, Gator Matt was one of the reasons that I was let down by those Nutty Buddy cream pies.
Oh.
He called, it was, I guess, maybe a month ago or so, he called Jake's show, which Jake is not the show for Little Debbie talk. Jake does not appreciate the Little Debbies like we do.
Yeah.
But Matt called and brought him up on his show, and Matt said they were, I think he said they were the best thing that Little Debbie has put out. Like he said they were above oatmeal cream pies.
That's true.
So that got, that really got my hopes even higher.
Mm-hmm.
So that contributed to, like I said, they weren't bad. They were, they were pretty decent, but I was expecting amazing stuff after hearing that.
So you had really high expectations because of everything he said.
Yeah.
Let's be honest here too, Beaver. Gator Matt sounds like the kind of guy who, like, he's really entertaining on the radio because he's full of energy. He sounds like, I've had some friends like this in the past too, where every day of their life is either the best day ever or the worst day ever. It's like everything is, the needle really swings one way or the other. Do you get that?
Oh man. Okay, so what you're doing is you're putting Office Space in my brain right now. But at the very beginning, so he's telling the therapist, or the therapist says, so every day that I see you is the worst day of your life.
Yeah, somewhere in there. But I think for Gator Matt, it's the best. Every day is the best day. I think that's where it is. Well, all right. Trying to decide what to do because I had some more Jake Mangum information. Beaver in his short stint after his call up just a couple of days ago to the major leagues. But you're starting to make me gun shy.
Now don't let me deprive everyone of
the cat's
Mangum
out of the
updates.
bag. No, it's too late. Like once you say it, it's out there, Beef. There's no putting it back in the bag. I mean, the cat's out of the bag. See, now, like this update here on the text line from Real C. He says Jake out on his second plate appearance, but he did force 8 pitches to be thrown in order to get him. Do you think that's overkill, Beaver? Updates on how many pitches he forced?
Yeah, a little obsessive.
We like Jake, okay? We like him. And we're not going to apologize for it.
More Bully got so angry at Jake Wimberly the other day because it was after after his 4 for 4 night.
Okay.
That was just Monday, right?
Yes, that's right.
I can't tell if this has been 3 days or 3 years because it feels like it's been going on for 3 years already. So More Bully created a text group, and I'm in it with him and Jake. And for some reason, though, I can't figure out why, the leave this conversation button doesn't work on my phone on that conversation. I've tried. I'm trapped in it.
You're trapped. You can't get out.
More Bully was so angry because he texted, "Y'all got to talk about Jake today," which I said, "Oh, you're on a first name basis?" And he's like, "No, y'all got to talk about it." And Jake was like, "I feel like you'll get it enough up until then." And More Bully was so angry.
So Jake was saying, "Hey, Matt's going to cover it for all of us."
Yeah.
So, well, look, I'm fine with that. Pass that along to Jake. That was a good evaluation on Jake Wimberly's part. That, I'm admitted, I'm a big enough Jake Mangum fan. You probably get all of that you want from me. I'm not going to leave much meat on that bone. That's fine. I don't take it as a diss, like a knock on me, the fact that I may want to follow Jake Mangum's career. A local kid, born and raised here, went to high school here, played college ball here, got the nickname the Mayor, just happens to be the voice on the Farm Bureau insurance commercials. So what if I happen to want to follow his career? And it's only 3 days old. I can't believe I'm saying this, but I totally agree with More Bully on this one. All right, a little bit of time left with y'all when we come back on this Wednesday in the Bureau. Stick around. Y'all heard me talk about Murray West and MurrayWest.com. They made the hat that I'm wearing. Got the Natchez Trace logo on it. I've told you a little bit about what they are. Contract embroidery company here in Mississippi. Started back in 1996, family owned. They do a phenomenal job, and I got to go visit their place up in New Albany. Let me show you a little bit about it. I say they do quality stuff. They really do. And so custom apparel, team stuff, I mean, really and truly, just about every high school in the state is sending their embroidered, team gear, jackets, shirts, hats, stuff. Baseball teams, football teams, they're sending it to the folks at Murray West in New Albany. You go to their website, MurrayWest.com, you go to the bottom, you can kind of see some of the Prairie Wildlife, Ole Miss Athletics, Gentile, others that they work with. Can't recommend them enough. If you need your logo printed, embroidered, sewn on to anything, custom apparel and other stuff, make sure you go there. Murray West, you can find them online. MurrayWest.com. That's MurrayWest.com.
I'm Eddie Holcomb with Washington County Farm Bureau Insurance.
I'm Scott Rainwater with Farm Bureau Insurance here in Washington County.
I'm Blake Policini with Washington County Farm Bureau.
I'm Brian Street with Farm Bureau Insurance in Washington County, and we are your home team.
I think you know what time it is. It's time to eat. Country pleasing, jalapeno and cheddar, green onion. And no, it's not a grill, is it? But the fire is just about burnt down enough where it's time to put some of this on there. And the only decision when it comes to country pleasing sausage is which flavor, jalapeno and cheddar or maybe green onion. Both.
Break me off a piece of that.
Look at that. You know what that is? That's real green onion. Like that monkey who set his tail on a railroad track. It won't be long now. Country Pleasing sausage, these flavors and many, many others. Get them online at countrypleasing.com. At a grocery store near you, pretty much anywhere in the Southeast. Walk up in there and say, Country Pleasing, please. They'll know what you're talking about.
I was born and raised in Greenville. I've always called Greenville home. This is where I, was raised, went to high school, graduated high school, worked all my life here leading up to going to college. So even when I moved from Greenville, I always told people, they asked me where you're from, I always said I'm from Greenville. I have mother, father, brother, niece, aunt, all live here in Greenville. So this is home. This is where I, live, and I've just always called it home. Small town, I feel like I could walk in any place tomorrow and know 2 to 3 people in there. It's small town. Someone's on the side of the road broken down. Hey, you need a boost, flat tire, you need help changing it. That's just kind of, what I love about this area. The blues and the food and everything that comes along with the Mississippi Delta that I love. I tell people all the time, my business cards have my cell phone number on them for a reason.
For you.
Just listen to that!
At the Zone 105.9 and coming to you worldwide at thezone1059.com.
Oh boy. Beaver. Beaver. This is really going to grind your gears right here, buddy. Listen to this scenario that just happened in this Tampa Bay Rays game. Beaver. The leadoff hitter for the Rays, Diaz. Okay? And by the way, there was a runner at second base. No outs. They're down 2-0 in the 6th inning. So he represents the tying run at the plate. They got a runner at second base. Leadoff hitter for the Rays, Diaz, chops one, hits a ground ball to second base. He lazily comes out of the box and assumes he's out. He did not run hard at all. The ball took a funny hop on Adam Frazier, who's playing second base, the former Bulldog, hit his glove and kicked away from him. Almost halfway up the baseline, just barely jogging, Diaz then sees this, then tries to start running. But it's too late. Because he loafed out of the batter's box and just assumed he was out on a ground ball, Frazier had time to go pick it up, throw it to first base, and still get him. If he had run out of the box hard, like, for example, somebody like Jake Mangum does every time, he'd have been safe. I'm going to send you the clip.
So he Fernando Tatised it.
He Tatised it. And in this one, it wasn't, out to the wall. It's just a ground ball to second base. But he came out of the box as if he didn't even it had the look of, I don't really enjoy playing baseball. That's the way it looked to me. And then if he's running like even 3/4, He's safe. Anyway, they eventually got the run home. It's 2-1 now. And Jake Mangum just flew out to center field, so he's 1 for 3 today. You like how, Beaver, that whole exercise was kind of my way of working in the most recent Jake update. You see what I did there?
Yeah, you painted a very detailed picture to get to the end, and Mangum flew out.
He did. He gave it a ride. But he's really frustrated. He's 1 for 3, and he's visibly frustrated against Paul Skeens today. Let's see, what else do I have? How we doing on time, B? Look, listen. I imported this today onto the soundboard. I'm going to use it. After Jake went 3 for 4 last night for the Rays, this was his post-game interview.
I'd imagine you couldn't have drawn up a better start in your wildest dreams.
No, absolutely not. This is it's all surreal. The last 4 days of my life have been unbelievable. The big leagues is everything everyone's ever said it is. Just thankful to be here and really excited to be a part of this second series win.
Jake, I wanted to ask you were talking about the last couple of days of your life being just an absolute whirlwind. Take me back to when you got the call and Morgan Ensberg kind of giving you that call and how that all happened. The 190-mile Uber ride back to Durham to get all your stuff to get to Tampa. Like, how did that all plan out?
It was about an hour before first pitch at Norfolk to open the AAA season up. Just Morgan got everybody together. Mo's been fantastic to me over the last year and a half. He got everybody together, started talking about the season we're about to embark on, and then at the end he just dropped, Jake Mangum, you're going to the big leagues. And that feeling is indescribable, man. It's unbelievable.
All right, so there you go. You can hear the leaf blowers in the background, getting the field ready as soon as the game is over. All right. Let's see. Television history, you want that? Oh, I know what it was. I found this. Yeah, I forgot to do this over the last month. Let's get in the Wayback Machine.
So take me away. I don't mind. But you better promise me I'll be back in time.
All right, back in time. On this day in 1956, the soap opera As the World Turns debuted. Anybody out there still watching that? I don't know. Maybe I've lost touch, but I just know when I was a little guy, it seemed like soap operas were a big deal for a lot of people. Days of Our Lives, As the World Turns, General Hospital. Like, it just seemed like it was a big deal. And somewhere along the way, I feel like soap operas during the day stopped being a big deal at all. I feel like they're not a big deal anymore. Anybody still watching? Okay. Also, let's see. On this day in 1978, the first episode of Dallas aired. You know what? I don't think I realized that that show started in 78, all the way back in the 70s. I thought it was an 80s show. I didn't realize Dallas began on April the 2nd, 1978. That's going way back. Sports World. On this day, 1985, the NCAA Rules Committee adopted the 45-second shot clock for men's basketball, and it would begin the following season in 1986. Boy, thank goodness they did that, right? On this day in 1995, the costliest strike in professional sports history ended when baseball owners agreed to let players play without a contract. And on this day in 2003, A-Rod, he was playing for the Rangers then back in 2003. A-Rod, Alex Rodriguez, became the youngest player to hit 300 home runs. He reached that mark 79 days before the previous record holder, Jimmy Fox, had done it. A-Rod was good. Steroids and all, man. That rascal was good. He was. I'm telling the truth. He was good. Speaking of baseball, what about this week in the SEC? We know we'll have probably, at least one series that's going to begin on a Thursday. All right. So let's see. You may have some midweek. Yeah, Missouri's going to play a midweek game tonight in the SEC. And then, Ole Miss. So Thursday series that begin in the SEC this weekend are Ole Miss at Kentucky. So that'll start tomorrow night. And 7th-ranked LSU at 10th-ranked Oklahoma. That'll begin tomorrow night as well. So Ole Miss goes to Kentucky this weekend. LSU is going to go to Oklahoma. Elsewhere around the SEC, you get Florida hosting Vandy, South Carolina at State, Alabama at Auburn this weekend. Tennessee is going to host A&M. Arkansas is going to host Missouri on the weekend. And 3rd-ranked Georgia will go to 5th-ranked Texas. It's probably the premier series in the country this weekend right there. And, of course, LSU and Oklahoma's a goodie also. For Southern Miss on the weekend, they're going to play at Marshall. Southern Miss at Marshall this weekend, 3-game series. So hitting the road. You probably forgot that Marshall was in the Sun Belt now. But they are. Let's see. Joe Mailman sent me a picture of a snapping turtle out here sunning on April the 2nd. Cold-blooded snapping turtle and soaking up that sunshine. Yeah, true story. Yesterday, Annabeth and I, we were in different vehicles, but we happened to be coming back home at the same time. And so we're on the road leading into our neighborhood. She's right behind me. We turn a little corner. This is in the neighborhood. We're only, a quarter of a mile or so from our house. We turn a little corner, and boom, there I see him, turtle, crossing the road. He had moss on his back. There was a lake over there on that side. I'm in front of Annabeth. She's in the car behind me. I see the turtle crossing the road. Immediately, I think, number one, I hope she doesn't see this. Because, number two, if she does see it, she's going to stop and get out in the middle of the road to want to help this turtle cross the road. Me being, the chauvinist that I am, knows in the case of number two there, that's going to be my responsibility. So as I pull past the turtle, I'm thinking, maybe she won't see it. Maybe she won't see it. She starts slowing down. She's seen it. So I backed up, pulled in neighbor's driveway, jump out, walk out in the street, waving traffic along. I pick up this turtle. Annabeth was so pleased with me. I'm telling you, I can't think of anything I've done for her in the last week that put a bigger smile on her face than walking out into traffic, picking up a turtle, and helping him cross the street. So goes the life of a dedicated husband. See y'all tomorrow. See ya!